All right, it's time to take a blast to the past here, folks. Because back on August 7th, 2024, we made this YouTube video on the channel, going over Canucks goaltending prospect Aku Koskenvuo and how he was potentially entering steal territory for the Vancouver Canucks. This video was posted 7 months ago, and now we're revisiting Aku Koskenvuo and his story because we do have ourselves a legitimate update. Take a look at this. The Vancouver Canucks GM, Patrik Allvin, has announced today that the team has agreed to terms with goaltender Aku Koskenvuo on a 2-year entry-level contract. Last time we had spoken about Koskenvuo, it was from August 7th. Today, just about 10 minutes ago, Koskenvuo has signed out of the Harvard University Crimson system, and he'll be on the Canucks payroll for the next 2 years. Let's go out there and read the report on the Vancouver Canucks website before taking a look at the stats and the breakdown as to how Koskenvuo plays. Take a look at this. Vancouver Canucks GM Patrik Allvin announced today the club has agreed to terms with Koskenvuo. He's 22 years old, and he had recently concluded his 3rd season with the Harvard University Crimson, posting a record of 8-9-1 with a .281 goals against average, a .902 save percentage, and 1 shutout in 20 games played. His 8 wins set a new career high. The 6'4", 173-pound goaltender has appeared in 39 career NHL games over 3 seasons with Harvard University, registering a record of 14-16-5 with 3 shutouts. A native of Espoo, Finland, Koskenvuo has represented his country on multiple occasions, including the 2021 U18s, where he was named one of Finland's top 3 players, as well as the 2023 World Juniors. Koskenvuo was selected by the Canucks in the 5th round, 137th overall at the 2021 NHL Entry Draft. Now, if you dive into some of the extra talking points here for Koskenvuo and his profile, Elite Prospects has us hooked up with the details here. 22 years old, 6'4", 201, left-handed guy, signed now by the Vancouver Canucks to a 2-year ELC. I'm not sure if the ELC is for 24-25 and 25-26, or if it's for 25-26 and 26-27, if the contract starts this season or next season. I'm going to assume next season just because the contract signing is a little bit later into the year. But Aku Koskenvuo had himself a .902 save percentage in 20 games this season with Harvard. He had a .910 save percentage last year, though. So the numbers were a little bit different, and I say different and not better, because while he did have a higher save percentage last season, his goals against average was lower than what it was this season. What that tells to me is that Harvard University isn't really the best defensive team this year or last year, and so the results on paper, the fact that he had a negative record, he was 8-9-1, last season he was 5-6-4, it's not necessarily like Aku Koskenvuo was going out there in the NCAA and winning all these games. He's not going to be a finalist for the Hobey Baker, and he's not going to get the Goaltender of the Year award. He's just a guy there. He's important, and for Harvard to have gotten most of their goaltending support from Koskenvuo, obviously it's a good sign that he is a trusted member of this hockey team. He split the load with Ben Charette for starting duty here with the Crimson. But if you head over to the Canucks and their prospect system, you talk about the Abbotsford Canucks. This is where we dive into where Koskenvuo can fit in. This season, the goaltenders that Abby have had, they've got 3, Ty Young, Tolopilo, and Jiri Patera, all of whom are signed to Vancouver Canucks-related contracts. There also was Artur Shilovs, of course, but he's in the NHL right now. So if you wanted to see another opportunity for a younger guy to fit into this system, give Ty Young and Tolopilo a little bit more competition, then that's exactly what Koskenvuo is going to do for next season. Do we have the roster for next season? Do we have contracts for who is going to be available? No, we don't have that at our disposal just yet. But with the graduation of Artur Shilovs, you can say there is room for a few more extra names. Jiri Patera, I am interested about him. Yeah, his contract goes on till next season, so he certainly is going to be in that mix as well. Maybe, worst case scenario, you could have a guy go down to the ECHL, but ultimately for Koskenvuo, this is a really good achievement for him, whether he's in the NHL, AHL, or ECHL for next season. Let's dive into this comment made by Dave Hall, who posted it 2 days ago. Aku Koskenvuo stopped 39 of 41 shots for Harvard, but couldn't get any offensive help as Clarkson took the 2-1 overtime victory to advance. He stopped 88 of 95 shots in the best-of-3 series. Aku Koskenvuo Pro Watch? #Canucks. This is exemplified in his game log. He did have himself a pretty good .951 save percentage in this 2-1 overtime loss against Clarkson in Game 3. Best 2 out of 3 series, and they ended up losing, unfortunately. Koskenvuo with the .951 and the .923, good enough to put him up there as one of the more renowned goaltenders of the tourney. There also were some conversations here. Oh, he's probably a 4-year Harvard player. Definitely a possibility, Dave Hall says. So there was maybe a chance for Koskenvuo to spend an extra year in Harvard, play the full 4 seasons, and then become a free agent. But if Patrik Allvin and the Vancouver Canucks were intriguing enough for him as an option right now, then I guess that's exactly why he decided to sign his contract and turn pro this season. Honestly, the numbers aren't really too amazing across the board. Even if you're looking at the World Juniors, for example, 2 seasons ago he played for Team Finland with an .842 save percentage and a .447 goals against. He went 0-0. There certainly are some statistical improvements that could be made here, but the fact that the Vancouver Canucks believe in this guy, they want to bring him in, they want to give him that opportunity, and the fact that he is another goaltender prospect that Vancouver is signing from the 5th round, that is a really intriguing story to follow, so I hope we'll see more out of Koskenvuo. But ultimately, Vancouver Canucks goaltending, long-term at least, seems to be in a pretty reasonable spot. You talk about Kevin Lankinen on the big club, you talk about Thatcher Demko and Patrik Allvin's very defining comments saying that they do want to get some sort of a tandem going with him, of course, bearing his health. And then in the AHL, I mean, Nikita Tolopilo was down there. His contract expires this season, so next season, who knows if Tolopilo is still going to be around. But he's 24 years old and had an .896 save percentage with Abbotsford, so maybe he's not necessarily a guy that's too poised to being brought back. Who really knows? He did get some time in the Vancouver Canucks system as well, serving as an emergency backup, I'm pretty sure, especially in the playoffs last year. Ty Young is another young guy. He's young-ish, 20 years old, younger than Koskenvuo over here. But Ty Young, 2022 5th-round pick, this is exactly what we've been talking about, man. These 5th-round goaltenders that the Vancouver Canucks end up taking are pretty good. Ty Young, .905 save percentage in the Abbotsford Canucks system and a .934 in the ECHL. So I think this is a really big opportunity here just to acknowledge some of the goaltending guys that have come through Abbotsford for the past little while. Yuri Patera was signed from Vegas, so he's a little bit different, and Artur Shilovs is with the main club. So if you assume Tolopilo maybe leaves, or if you want to re-sign Tolopilo, have some sort of a goaltending battle, you could throw Koskenvuo in there as well, or toss Koskenvuo down to the Kalamazoo Wings in the ECHL if you want to give him more of a starter's role. But for now, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Vancouver Canucks signing Aku Koskenvuo to a 2-year entry-level contract. What are your thoughts about this signing here? Do you think it's positive for the team? Do you think this will be a bigger signing down the line? Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.